Welcome aboard, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health, kicking off another week of health recovery through science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition, science-based, clinically verified alternatives to drugs and surgery, not because we are against drugs and surgery. Drugs and surgery will save your life when they're indicated. But like the fella said, like the New Englander said, whenever all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, Skipper. When all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. That's right. Just nail it. Can't see it from my house, Cap. Just nail it. So, the MDs bring to the table a skill set which is based upon an old-fashioned, outdated medical philosophy. It's a medical methodology referred to as allopathic reductionism. MDs are not trained in medicine. Nobody is. MDs are trained in allopathic medicine, and allopathic medicine is best suited, quite frankly, it's only suited for trauma and emergency medicine. When you bring your body to the office of an MD and you're suffering from a chronic illness, you are entering into the mouth of hell. Your medical doctor is not trained to know nor to care what the genesis of your problem was. They don't care what caused it. They're only trained, and they're not trained how to fix it. They're not trained how to cure heartburn. They're not trained how to cure high blood pressure. They're not trained how to cure fibromyalgia or how to cure lupus. They're not trained how to cure cancer. They're not trained how to cure anything. All that they're trained in is how to effectively manage your symptoms with drugs until things get so bad that surgery is necessary. And then, of course, after surgery, it's more and more and more drugs. And this is a fool's errand, which ultimately will end in misery. And if you don't have good insurance, bankruptcy, or maybe a little bit of the both, even if you do have good insurance, because the only people with, those type of deep pockets are the 1%. And it's one of life's greatest ironies that, I'm a big supporter and a big advocate of being financially wealthy. I am. I think it's a mandatory thing in this day and age. We should live simply and adjust ourselves accordingly, but most of us culturally have become wedded to this cultural meme that the bank has to own the house, the bank has to own the car, and everybody needs to be okay with, a less than impressive yearly salary. Everybody needs to be okay with the credit card companies owning, $10,000 worth of our debt minimum. And this is just nonsense. Most people in the United States are not experiencing financial freedom. They're not. Most people in the United States are certainly not experiencing health freedom, which is, for instance, or interestingly enough, the very definition of our health, the naturopathic definition of health, the naturopathic definition of health, the holistic definition of health, especially the homeopathic definition of health, is that health is the ability of a living, breathing organism to experience stress and maintain structural integrity, to experience stress and to remain symptom-free in a state of dynamic balance, Our intention is to help people recover their health. Our intention is to help people recover their health, and it is the MD's intention not to help people recover their health, but and experience a state of freedom. It's not the MD's job to bring you into a state of freedom. It's your MD's job to suppress your symptoms so that you no longer feel them, or not as intensely as you did before. So we're not experiencing financial freedom. We're not experiencing the freedom of our own bodies. We're not experiencing health. We're not. And this is why, and yet because of the cultural manipulation that's gone on here, and it's either happened on purpose or it's just become a runaway, out-of-control juggernaut that nobody is questioning, right? Because the MDs have power. They have power. The MDs have power. They have a license to kill. They do. I mean, if you're admitted to the hospital, you have to get there okay to leave. I mean, it's nuts. But in any event, because we've all been culturally conditioned to believe in the myth of the MD, we get used to mediocrity. And because the corporate giants need the worker bees, because the queen bee needs the worker bee, we've become culturally conditioned to be okay with the underpaying job. We have. So we have become culturally conditioned to believe in no financial freedom and no physical freedom. No mental freedom, no emotional freedom. This is it. This is what it means to be a human being now. So we rattle our chains to celebrate our freedom. We rattle the Patriot Act to celebrate our freedom. It's nonsense. We rattle our prescription medications to celebrate our health, and it's nonsense. And the only reason that we do this, of course, is because we do not understand that there do exist right now in real time science-based, clinically verified alternatives to drugs and surgery which have been developed and are delivered by licensed, regulated physicians. And that's where we come into play. That's why this show is important, because ironically, the stuff that we talk about, what we bring to the table here vis-a-vis this radio program, are foundation health recovery nutritional strategies, foundation boilerplate medical nutrition health recovery strategies in a one-size-fits-all, more or less, structure. Because ultimately, healing is easy. Surgery is complicated. You better be using a high-tech, multi-million-dollar sterile facility if you attempt to pull a bullet out of somebody's leg or remove an infected kidney or an infected organ. You better be working in a multi-million-dollar high-tech sterile facility. But if you are simply attempting to have better sleep, if you're simply attempting to have better kidneys, to have a better heart, to have better blood pressure, to have better quality of life, then the solutions that or the therapeutics that you should and need to bring to bear to help your body support and promote its structure and function are easy. And it's one-stop shopping. We've been brainwashed into believing that, oh, no, I've got arthritis, so I have to see the MD, I have to go and have an office visit, I have to have the x-ray, I have to have the CT scan, I have to have the expensive diagnostic discovery, I have to do that. It's very important. Well, no, it's not. It's important to know that it's not a cancerous tumor that's causing the pain. I'll give you that much. But most of the time it's not. Right? So once you know what the problem is, once somebody has definitively diagnosed that, which, by the way, is harder and harder for MDs to do, because really that the education of the MD, long ago they stopped actually practicing medicine. Now they're just pharmaceutical dealers who know how to diagnose things. Right? They're like pharmaceutical salesmen who can diagnose things and have a certain amount of legal sway. Medical doctors, MDs, stopped practicing medicine a long time ago. And we have on the webinars that I give, we have people logging on to the webinar and telling us horror stories about how they've gone to the emergency room, they've gone to their doctor, they've gone to the third specialist, they've had tens of thousands of dollars of diagnostic discovery, they have simple sets of symptoms, and the MDs are still clueless as to what causes it. Clueless. They don't know. They're clueless. Don't know. And even when they do know, their therapeutics aren't intended to fix it. They're just intended to manage it. And so you go home and you're gorked out of your mind on the prescription medications, and you're still suffering from the metabolic process that caused the condition to worsen in the first place. Right? It's nuts. It's like bailing the water out of a boat instead of plugging the hole. It's only a matter of time until another hole pops open, and then the boat's going to sink. So what we need to do is get on the other side of this nonsense, and one of the hardest conceptual ideas here for people to get straight in their heads is that for the majority of chronic illnesses, the first, second, and third things to do are eliminate the 10 bad foods, Take the appropriate Healthy Start Pack, which provides your body with all of the essential nutrition that it does, and an appropriate add-on, and also increase your consumption of foods, beverages, and or nutritional supplements which are high in antioxidants. The recommendation for everybody across the board is antioxidant consumption of 50,000 ORAC points a day. So eliminate the 10 bad foods. You can get that list free on my website. Fill up your body with the appropriate nutrition, and we have different healthy packs to address different weaknesses in the body. And educate yourself as to what an antioxidant is and how to secure them. Antioxidants are measured by something called an ORAC score. Vitamins, of course, measured by milligrams or micrograms. Antioxidants measured by their ORAC score, ORAC. That's an acronym for oxygen radical absorption capacity, and I did an entire webinar on that, which is also available for subscribers on my website. Become an insider at drglidden.com and have immediate access to over 100 hours of health recovery videos that I have put together, plus 3 to 5 hours of live chat every week where I answer directed questions from the assembled multitudes. You know, in the final analysis, when you stop eating food that's coming up the works, you provide your body with the essential nutrition that it so desperately needs, and you start supporting the fire department of your body with antioxidants. 9 times out of 10, and I just made that statistic up, the body fixes itself. So guess what? The joints optimize their structure and function. The kidneys optimize their structure and function. The uterus optimizes its structure and function. The lungs optimize their structure and function. And your system returns to a state of freedom, which is the very definition of health. Now, would you rather experience physical, mental, and emotional freedom? Or would you rather rattle your prescription medications to celebrate your suppression of symptoms? You choose. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. We're going to the phones when we come back. Victoria from Oklahoma is up next. Stick around. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for finding time to spend with me this afternoon. Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health, your friendly neighborhood naturopath, helping you to see the light of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition, and to usher you into the undiscovered country of holistic health. And you, honest to God, you don't know what you're missing if you're still going to the old school MDs. You really don't know what you're missing. Let's go to Oklahoma now and see what's up with Victoria. Hey, Victoria, thanks for the call. You are live.
Hello.
Hey, Victoria, what's going on? Thanks for the call.
First off, I want to say thank you. I appreciate your service. I've only heard your radio program a couple times. I'm very new on the block. I heard Dr. Wallach recently at a seminar and was just blown away by his presentation. And I have a lot of health challenges. I was given your number of your organization, and Shannon referred me to you. I have a very, very compromised digestive tract with gluten intolerance and leaky gut and many, many allergies. I've checked out some of the products and the ingredients, and the problem that I have is, if there's more than 2 or 3 ingredients, I'm usually allergic to enough of them that it probably wouldn't be safe for me to use. Shannon also was nice enough to send me some of your webinars on the allergies. I also have Lyme's disease, and you recommended the Shield, the Cell Shield, and that has 3 ingredients in it, the quercetin, and turmeric, and resveratrol, and I'm allergic to turmeric, so she thought I should talk to you and get some advice on what I can do, because I'm not so sure how many of the products I could use because of these multitude of allergies that I have.
Oh, well, I'm glad that you've called. You bring up a lot of really excellent points. So, first things first, how do you know that you are allergic to these things? I had allergy testing by a naturopath several years ago. 2 different naturopaths did testing on me. And you don't remember which lab they used, do you?
Oh, I I could find it, but right, I don't have it right on hand.
Okay, now when you
they did the spit test.
It was a what?
They do the spit test.
Yeah,
you do
okay.
the saliva every so many hours a day, all day long.
Yeah, okay. So here's the deal. In the wonderful world of this diagnostic discovery, with food allergies, it's difficult to find a laboratory whose results are sensitive and specific and are reproducible. So a lot of times you can get blood work done and it's tested by one lab and it says that you're allergic to, peaches and pears and walnuts. And you'll do the same test with another lab and it says that you're not allergic to peaches and pears and walnuts or whatever. So, and also, depending on which part of the immune system was tested and the testing methodology at the lab, was it an IgM test? Was it an IgG test? Was it an IgE test? Was it a blood spot? Was it a full serum sample tube? Was it a saliva test? What was it? There are different testing methodologies that have better or worse results, and honestly, I wouldn't pin my future on the results of any diagnostic food allergy test unless it was from one lab and one lab only, and that's in Florida. It's called U.S. Biotech. And even their stuff is not 100% sensitive and specific. So and also when you do any of that testing, objective discovery for food allergies, the test result always comes back with grades, and it's usually from a 0 to 4. It's a 0, a 1+, a 2+, a 3+, or a 4+. And if you test positive for something, it'll say, oh, you have a 1+ result for an allergy to peaches, or you have a 5+ result for an allergy to turmeric, or whatever, right? So, and now, depending on which doctor you go and see, and their clinical experience, and what their particular belief pattern is, some doctors will tell you that you only need to eliminate the stuff that you're +4 or +5 for. Other doctors will tell you have to eliminate all of it. Even if you test +1 for it, you have to eliminate it. So it gets to become a very complicated soup. It's a very, very complicated soup, but I have the Zen sword that cuts right through all of it. I'm glad that you called because you need to hear what I have to say. We're up against a hard break right now. You stick with me, Victoria. I will show you the secret to food allergies when we come back. I appreciate your call. Stick around, folks. More to come. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Peter Glidden here, welcoming you to another live edition of Fire Your MD Now. Why? Because we mean it. Why? Because MD-directed medical treatments are the leading cause of death in the United States. And remember, your MD is not trained to be concerned with what causes your chronic disease, nor are they concerned about how to cure your chronic disease. They do not even attempt a cure because they're clueless as to the cause. All they do is manage your symptoms. In a perfect world, it would be illegal for an MD to say that they're practicing health care, because they're not. They're practicing disease management. And there is a gigantic difference between health care and disease management. Health care is much, much better than disease management. Wouldn't you agree? I know Victoria in Oklahoma agrees. She's with us now, and she's been struggling with a number of health issues for a long time. Victoria, you still with me?
I am.
All right. So first things first, you can only be allergic to a protein, okay? You can't be allergic to anything other than a protein. And the 90 essential nutrients that the human body needs, it's impossible for you to have an allergy to them. For instance, you can't have an allergy to vitamin E or to calcium or to zinc or to selenium or to taurine, okay? You can't have an allergic reaction to these things. Now, you can have an allergic reaction to a number of the things that are in the longevity products besides the vitamins and minerals and essential fatty acids. For instance, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, which is one of our backbone products, has over 100 fruits and vegetables in it, which you could, in fact, be allergic to. The white liquid calcium has stuff in it that you potentially could be allergic to. The glucosamine sulfate has glucogel, has shellfish in it that you could potentially be allergic to. But But it's impossible for you, me, or anybody else to know definitively, given the status quo of diagnostic testing. So, tell me again what your main health concerns here are. Do you have IBS or Crohn's, or what's the deal?
I have leaky gut.
So what have you been definitively diagnosed by the MDs with anything?
Oh, yes, lots of things. The gluten is the biggest on my list.
Well, but I know that, but I want to know from my point of view, what have they told you have? Have they told you have high blood pressure, you have type 2 diabetes, you have arthritis? What have they told you?
I will. Okay, I'll give you the list. I have Lyme's disease, osteoporosis, cataracts, irritable bowel syndrome, diabetes, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, the list goes on, allergies, arthritis.
All right, so you have at least 9 things that are wrong with you, and while you've been under the care and tutelage of the MDs, your health has gone you-know-where in a handbasket, right?
Yes.
Exactly, correct. And so, and I'm going to tell you what to do here to get on the other side of it, but this begs the question, right? Why on earth are you still paying medical insurance premiums? Because I know you are. Why do you do that? I just want to know.
I prefer to go the natural route.
Yeah, but you're still buying medical insurance, right?
No, not directly. I'm disabled.
Yeah.
And so I'm eligible. Have Medicaid and Medicare.
Oh, okay. I get it. All right. So very good.
But let me explain to you. I've heard some of your educational CDs. And I didn't know until I got down here and I heard some of your things. I'm from Oregon and Washington. And, of course, we have the Naturopathic College in Portland, and in Washington, naturopaths are legal. And so when I came down here to Oklahoma, I had a real shockaroo to find out that finding a medical doctor who's knowledgeable in natural things, that's not hard in Washington.
Right.
But it is very difficult. Trying to find one here is like finding a needle in a haystack. And the doctor I go to does practice natural things as well as the allopathic plan.
Yeah, okay. It's all interesting, isn't it?
I spend a lot of money on supplements out of pocket because that's the way I prefer to go. And so,
yeah, and it's a crying shame. It's a crying shame, don't you think, that medical insurance doesn't pay for nutritional supplements?
Well, the thing that I will tell you, though, is in Washington, on medical, when you get medical from the state, they recognize naturopathic and vitamins and stuff, and you still have to pay for it out of pocket. But they recognize that as a medical expense, and so they will give you, they will recognize that. Down here, they don't. Unless you pay for a prescription at a pharmacy, they don't give you any. So I basically get no assistance here with anything like that. So
what's your Oh, yeah, I know. So we got to do the best that we can do, Victoria. What's your current body weight?
170.
All right. So here's what I would recommend you do for 30 days. Now, remember, there's money-back guarantee with any of the stuff that I'm going to recommend here. So if, in fact, you do have an allergic reaction to any of these things, you can send them back and you'll get your money back, right? So, but I'm telling you, because of the lack of perfection that exists in food allergy testing, we really have to do a little trial and error of our own here to figure this out. Now, the Zen sword that we use to let people know, yes, in fact, they're allergic to something, or no, in fact, they're not, is an elimination challenge diet. So you put on a list all the things that you think you're allergic to. And then you whittle down from that list the things that you eat on a regular basis, right? Like, most people, for instance, it'll say cardamom. You're allergic to cardamom. Well, most people in the United States, unless you're of Indian descent, East Indian descent, not Native American descent, they never have cardamom at all, maybe at Christmas time, but that's it. So you want to whittle down the list of the things that you've been told you're allergic to maybe the top 10 things that you eat all of the time or on a regular basis. Then you eliminate those foods 100% from your diet for 28 days, 4 weeks in a row, 28 days in a row, complete abstinence from those foods. Don't even look at them. Then you add back into your diet 1 day at a time, starting on day 29, each of the foods. And then you wait a day in between. So if you think you're allergic to milk, you eliminate milk for 28 days, and then on day 29 you drink some milk. You wait 24 hours and see what happens. Then you wait another day, and then you add the next thing that you've been eliminating back into your diet, and then you wait 48 hours and judge the effects, and so forth and so on. It's called an elimination challenge diet. And if you, in fact, are allergic to something, food, and you eliminate it for 28 days and then you put it back into your diet, within 48 hours you will know whether, in fact, you're allergic to it, because something bad will happen. Something negative will flare up. If nothing negative happens, then you can assume that you don't have an allergy to that food, or that it's so low grade that you really don't need to worry about it. So that's the only way that we can know definitively, or even get ourselves inside of the reality ballpark here with the stuff that we think we're allergic to. Now, food allergies are a very real thing, but because the diagnostic science is fuzzy, you can be afraid to leave the house for fear of experiencing something that you're allergic to, and it gets a little bit silly. Now, as you're aware of by watching my webinars, regardless of whether we know we're allergic to something or not, the goal here is to support and promote the digestive tract, because we believe it's a malfunction of the digestive tract, which is at the root cause of all allergic symptoms. So, in order to support and promote a healthy digestive tract, the recommendation is as follows. Here's what I would do for the first 30 days. I would do 1 healthy digestion pack. No, I wouldn't. Yes, I would. I would do, all right, so here's what I would do. 1 bottle of Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0.
Okay, now listen. Yes, now that one's okay. That's the peach one.
Yeah.
And so I did talk to your chemist, and he thought that one would be the better one. So, okay, go ahead.
Okay, 1 Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0, all right? We're going to do a little experiment just for 4 weeks here. 1 bottle of Cal Toddy, Caltoddy, 1 bottle of Cal Toddy. Okay. 1 bottle of EFA+, E like Edward, F like Frank, A like Apple, 1 bottle of EFA+. And 1 nightly essence, 1 bottle of something called nightly essence, all right? And last but not least, 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals, 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals. When you get the Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0, I'd like you to do 1 scoop in 12 ounces of water twice a day. 1 scoop in 12 ounces of water twice a day. I want you to take at least an hour to drink it down. 1 scoop, level scoop, in 12 ounces of water twice a day. Take an hour to drink each dose down. The Cal Toddy, I'd like you please to do 1 tablespoon in an ounce of orange juice in the morning.
Well, no. I can't do orange juice.
All right, 1 tablespoon in an ounce of water in the morning. Just shoot it down. And 1 tablespoon in an ounce of water immediately before bed. Okay? 1 tablespoon. That's of the Cal Toddy. Yeah, 1 tablespoon in an ounce of water in the morning, and again immediately before bed. The EFAs, I want you to do 1 with breakfast, 1 with lunch, 1 with dinner.
I basically eat 2 meals a day, so.
Okay, then do 1 with breakfast and 2 with lunch, or, do 1 with a meal and 2 with the other meal, okay? 3 a day taken during meals. And last but not least, the plant-derived minerals. I'd like you to do 1 tablespoon of that in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine mix twice a day. So put 1 tablespoon of the plant-derived minerals in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine drink that you do each time you do it, so that'll be 1 tablespoon twice a day. Now, eliminate the 10 bad foods, and Shannon's probably already given you that list. And the nightly essence, I'd like you to do 2 before bed. Two of the nightly essence immediately before bed. And that's it. That's all I want you to do for the first 4 weeks. And when you're into that for about day 14 or day 15, give me a call back. Tell me what happened. And then we'll be able to move forward here. But we have to start somewhere, right? And given your sensitivity history, which is duly noted, we have to start slow. We have to start somewhere, and then we're going to have to move ahead as we go forward. But that's what I would do to begin with. And call me on around day 14, day 15, day 16 with a report, and we'll modify this for you moving forward, okay? And Victoria, listen, do not even look at any of the 10 bad foods, okay?
Oh, I got that webinar, so I'm familiar with them.
All right, listen, I got to move on. I appreciate your trust. I appreciate your listening here. Give it a run. Give me a call back in a couple of weeks with a report. I will look forward to that. And don't you think this is interesting? You know how many people like Victoria there are in the world? People that have given themselves over to conventional medicine for a long time and they've been let down? I mean, it's everybody. Everybody is sick, and I know why, which, by the way, is the subtitle of my book, The MD Emperor Has No Clothes. Everybody is sick, and I know why. If you are sick and tired of being sick and tired and broke, you've come to exactly the right place. What we are about is physical freedom and financial freedom in one package. Longevity. Stick around. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here. Sometimes I talk too much, don't you think? You think I talk too much? Is that possible for me to talk too much? I think it is. I think I do that. I'm going to try to move things along here. Let's go to Mary in Oregon, who's experiencing slow healing, I think. Hey, Mary, thanks for the call. You are live.
Hi, I'm calling with a comment about myself, and then if you have time, if you could riff on pancreatitis for a woman that I'm expecting to come to my info gatherings.
Okay, so I'll do that quick because first, second, and third thing, right? I mean, if it's a bone and joint problem, we give calcium and sulfur-bearing molecules and minerals because that's what the bones and joints are made out of, right? So when we're trying to support the pancreas, we give selenium. We give extra selenium. So the recommendation would be on top of the original suspects, 1 selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month, not to exceed more than 4 bottles a month. Now, any type of an itis, right? Itis is Latin for inflammation, right? All chronic disease has inflammation somewhere in the mix. So an interesting thing to do to support the fire department of your body, which is the part of the body that puts out inflammation, is the Cell Shield RTQ or the CM caps. The Cell Shield RTQ and or the CM capsules. The intention of both of those is to support the body's anti-inflammatory activities, as is the Immortalium. So, depending on the budget, you could do CM caps, Immortalium, and the Cell Shield RTQ, or, manifestations of either of those, okay? So that's how we would support and promote the health and structured function of the pancreas.
Okay, now my comment on myself should be quick. I have a hard time calling at this time, so it's been a long time since I called, but I'm the person that wants to champion people that have a sticking point that takes a long time to heal.
Yeah.
And I'm referencing when you and I talked in December 27th in the second hour, and it was about halfway through the show. And I started to say why I thought I have that sticking point. I surmise that my small intestine is my sticking point. And what I wanted to say was, Dr. Wallach says I'm allergic to food. So if anybody, that I'm champion out there that's taking a long time to heal, wanted to know where I was headed, now they know that's my sticking point.
So what have you been doing to get on the other side of that?
Well, I've been with Longevity since 2002. I've heard every single one of your podcasts, every single one of Ben's podcasts, every single one of Dr. Wallach's podcasts. So I know what you should look for when you eat something. I do know the only thing you can be allergic to are proteins. So anytime I eat something, if I have any digestive disturbances, I note that, and I just go forward with what I've got to do.
So you tick that food off the list and you stay away from it moving forward, right?
Well, not always. Since I'm allergic to food, I got to eat something. So I have high emphasis on eggs, and lots of vegetables.
And I have a couple of other foods of advice for you. I've been doing this for over 25 years. I've yet to meet somebody who's allergic to rice. And I have yet to meet somebody who is allergic to lamb. I've yet to meet somebody who's allergic to rice or lamb. So you may want to experiment with those foods, putting them into your body. But it's a real sticky wicket when the structure and function of your small intestine gets so bad that you've developed multiple food allergies, which, interestingly enough, is one of the reasons why, and I'd like to do a long segment on this on the radio show, why therapeutic fasting is so ideal. It's one of the reasons, because a lot of people with a stick-in-the-mud chronic diseases have multiple food allergies. And so, they'll eat a food and they'll take their nutritional supplements, and it's kind of 3 steps forward, 2 steps back because of the allergic reaction, which is why therapeutic fasting can be so very, very helpful. So very, very helpful. I appreciate your insight, Mary. I appreciate your trust, and most especially, I appreciate your dedication to the Longevity Method. I look forward to your full recovery at some time, hopefully in the near future. Hour 2 coming up, folks. Catch the live stream at drglidden.com. Stick around.